Buongiorno from Oviedo. I am Alba, for those of you who don't know me. I am the program manager for the Arizona in Oviedo Study Abroad program. And I'm here to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you will be able to enjoy it with your friends and family safely. We will miss our group of students, our group of fall students with whom we always celebrate Thanksgiving. But I also thought that I might feel closer to you sharing with you one of my favorite recipes. I think that the Oviedo alumni immediately recognize what I'm talking about because we prepare this at our cooking classes. And these are the ingredients for the tiramisu. So it's very easy. You only need very basic things that you can easily find in the US. Pavesini, it's a type of lady fingers, and chocolate chips, some cocoa powder, 3 eggs, sugar, coffee, and Baileys or any coffee flavored liqueur. Actually, we're missing one ingredient. I'll be right back. Here you go. This is the mascarpone cheese. It's a very fat, creamy cheese. And the reason it was not here, it's because it really needs to sit in the fridge. I mean, especially in Arizona, if you buy mascarpone, you may want to go home immediately, put it in the fridge, because otherwise it can go bad easily. So, 3 eggs and 300 grams of mascarpone cheese will be enough for about 5 people. If you want to make more, let's say 10, 12 people, you need to have 6 eggs and 600 grams of mascarpone cheese. Easy peasy. All right, let's start preparing the tiramisu. So the first thing we need to do is to get the eggs, crack them, and separate yolks from whites. So one bowl will be for yolks and this one will be for whites. This is always tricky. We want to put all the whites in there and possibly put the yolks here without breaking them. One is done. Of course, you may want to make sure that there are no eggshells, either in the whites or in the yolks. And number 2. And finally 3. Again, this will be enough for 5, 6 people, depending on how much they like it. To me, it could be enough for myself, actually. All right. Now, we will add 3 tablespoons of sugar to the yolks. So you see, maybe, yeah, here you go, 3 yolks, 3 tablespoons of sugar, like this. 1, 2, 3. And before we mix the yolks and the sugar, we want to work on the whites. This is actually one of the most important things to do, to have the whites that are really whipped up, very fluffy and firm. Sometimes it can be, it won't be easy. One secret I have that always works is to add a few drops of lemon juice to the whites. This, don't ask me why, but it helps a lot, making the whites more fluffy and firm. So this is going to be noisy, I'm sorry. See? They won't even move. We will put them in the fridge as we prepare the yolks and the sugar because it's better for them to stay in the fridge. Okay, now it's time for the yolks and the sugar. So I'll mix them again like this. Sorry for all the noise. All right, you can tell that they're ready when they turn lighter in color. So remember when we started it was almost orangish, now it's a pale yellow. So this is what we want to have. All right, now I can get rid of this noisy thing. And it's time to add the mascarpone cheese. So we'll put the whole thing in. We'll mix this with the yolks. Oh. Actually, this again. All right, now it's time to mix the mascarpone cheese with the yolks and sugar. Let's go. All right, good enough. Now, next step is to add, of course, the egg whites. I'll get them from the fridge. And when you get to the egg whites, you don't want to use the anything but a spatula because we don't want, they need, see how like firm they are. This is beautiful. I love it. All right. Here we go. Now we need to gently mix them, and usually what is recommended is to sort of fold them like that so that the whites will not lose their fluffiness. So this is, you go until you see that it's evenly mixed. Here we go. This is how they should look like. All right, now comes the funny part, let's say. Okay, now we need to put together the tiramisu. So we have coffee, again, possibly like strong coffee. We mix some bay leaf with it, not, I would say, a couple of spoonsful, but it's up to your taste. Then we dip the pavesini in the coffee pretty fast, like that. Just roll it a couple of times, and we start putting them in the container that we pick for our tiramisu. So you can do it even like 2 at a time to make it faster. And we start forming the first layer. The tiramisu needs to be at least 2 layers. I would say not more than 2, because otherwise it gets a little too much. But 2 pavesini are, to me, are ideal. So we have first half of it. We'll keep covering the other half with our pavesini and coffee and bay leaves. Of course, you can use all different like size or types of containers. If you have the feeling that some of them are not wet enough, you can add some baby. So I'll do like here, here, here. All right. And then we have our cream, and we will distribute a first layer on the parisini, like that. See? And we try to evenly spread it out. Or maybe. Okay. Here we go. Now it's time for the bitter part. I mean, when I said cocoa powder, I mean the dark one, because of course the cream is pretty sweet with the sugar and the mascarpone, so you want to add a little bit of kick to it. So the cocoa powder, the best thing to do it is to have a sifter like this, and then gently tap over it, so that you have a very fine layer of cocoa powder. Doesn't need to be too much, or you don't want to have chunks. So it's just like that, gently. All right, good enough. And then of course chocolate chips. Quantity, it depends on you. To me, the more the better. So I just spread them again. It's like that. All right. And now we start the second layer. So again, you start with the parisini, dip them, put them on top. See, this is super fast. You don't need to bake anything. You don't need to have complicated preparations. Even a child can do it. And actually, it's a nice thing to make with kids because they will enjoy it, and again, they can do it. The only thing with not being baked is that you need to be careful with eggs. So you may want to get pasteurized eggs for the cream. Okay. And the last one. And then of course our second layer. I love everything of this dessert. The consistency, the smell, the richness, the balance of sweetness and like stronger coffee, cocoa flavors. It's just, I will probably eat this all by myself as soon as we finish. Actually, one piece of advice is to keep the mascarpone, keep the tiramisu, sorry, in the fridge for at least, I would say, 2 hours before eating it, or even more, because the more it stays, the more the flavors sort of mix. So it's, for example, if I have friends at dinner, I will prepare the tiramisu after lunch and keep it in the fridge for like 5 hours. Sometimes I will make tiramisu at dinner time or at night time to have it served at lunchtime. But again, do not keep it for longer than 1 day and a half. So, what do we need now? Cacao. Good. Our chocolate chips. You can also be more creative. Usually students, when they come and learn how to make tiramisu here, we have individual little containers like this one, so they can make their own little tiramisu, and they arrange the chocolate chips on top as a little decorations. So yeah, we can play with it. So pretty much here it is. Let's put it in the fridge. In a couple of hours it'll be ready and delicious, I swear. So let me know if it turned out well. Let me know if you prepared it. I will be happy to hear from you, and happy Thanksgiving again, everyone.